Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott's Selections here for Thursday, October 15th. We're getting today's play of the day. Quick recap of what happened yesterday. We end up giving out a look-ahead two-pick moneyline parlay on some football matchups coming up over the weekend. So if you've not checked out that video, it should be the video right before this one if you want some action for the weekend before the lines potentially move. Now, for today's card, really not much going on. You know, NFL on Thursday after the Bills game ended up getting delayed a couple days the week prior. So for that reason, they ended up moving the game from Thursday to later in the week. So for that reason, you got no Thursday night NFL. You do have a college football matchup between Georgia State and Arkansas State, and you also have the two playoff games between the Astros and the Dodgers. And we're going to be looking at the Dodgers game here as they end up taking on the Atlanta Braves, and that game will be taking place at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, for this series, the Braves have won two of the first three games. They almost blew game two, of course, almost blowing a 7-0 lead, but they ended up winning 8-7. And then yesterday, the Dodgers, in a must-win situation, completely exploded as they ended up scoring 11 runs in the first inning. Definitely some of the momentum that carried over from Game 2 carried over throughout Game 3, and they're going to be looking for that to carry over into Game 4 as well. And I personally think it will. The play that is for this video is going to be on the Dodgers team total over 5.5, which is available on DraftKings at -106. A time recording of 2:32 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, a couple reasons why I think the Dodgers will continue to hit well. First of all, the pitching matchup is definitely in the Dodgers' favor here. As Atlanta, everyone already knows with the injury to Soroka, etc., they have a pretty limited rotation, and they've already gone through most of their main arms in the rotation up to this point in the first three games of the series. Now, looking at Game 4, they will be going to Bryce Wilson, who is a very young relief pitcher, 22 years old. He had a season ERA of 4.02. It is worth mentioning, though, that he's not really a guy who gives much distance, as he went through 5 innings just one time this season, and most of his outings have been 3 innings or less. Definitely concerning. Plus, it is worth mentioning that the Dodgers, I already talked about before, have absolutely just been mashing Atlanta's bullpen over the last 2 days or so. Of course, the 11 runs in the first inning, most of them came against Kyle Wright, who started. He was awful, but the Dodgers continued to score 8 runs against the rest of the Braves bullpen after scoring 7 runs the night prior against the Braves bullpen. I think that Wilson, who, first of all, I already talked about how he doesn't need many innings. Second of all, he has not pitched since September 27th, and now he's supposed to be starting a playoff game. He's clearly going to be an opener. He's only going to go about 2 innings or so, which means that the Braves are going to entrust their bullpen for decent amount of volume here, which is really concerning because of the way the Dodgers have been hitting the Braves bullpen over the last 2 days. But Wilson, after not pitching for over 2-3 weeks or so, I expect him to struggle. So for that reason, I simply think that the Dodgers should be able to score at least 6 runs in this matchup because of the fact that Wilson has been struggling so far this season, not really been that great lately. Plus, he had a long layoff. I think that will lead to some struggles. And it also is worth mentioning that the Braves bullpen has been disastrous over the last couple of days, while the Dodgers offense has woken up completely. And the Dodgers are also the technical road team in this matchup, so they are getting a guaranteed 9 at-bats. And I think the 5.5, even though it might seem a little bit high for a playoff game, I don't think it is because the Dodgers have scored at least 7 over the last 2 games. And I don't know if you really buy into the run support angle for specific pitchers, but it is worth mentioning that the Dodgers have scored at least 6 runs in 3 of Kershaw's last 4 starts. So they have actually been giving him a decent amount of run support lately. I don't know if that really matters, but I think that is worth mentioning. But at -106, you're going to give me a team that just scored 15 runs yesterday, a team that scored 7 runs prior, that's facing a 22-year-old in his first start in a playoff game in his career, and a guy who shouldn't give much volume whatsoever. So for that reason, the play that is going to be on the Los Angeles Dodgers over 5.5 runs on the team total, which is available on DraftKings at -106 at time recording of 2:34 a.m. Eastern Time. That's the installment Scott Selections. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.